Yeah, I hit the tail rotor there, the top rotor even, the top rotor. Yeah. Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game. Today we've got DrCoreAccretion playing 82nd Airborne, a division you don't see very often, and he's going up against Divinity Slave playing Donkey Kong. So we'll cover the deck reviews, then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game, and as always timestamps in the description. Right, so this is the deck review for Divinity Slave, who's playing on his quintessential Donkey Kong Polish Airborne Marine Division. This won't take too long because we've covered this deck twice before already. I'll link those games in the description if you're interested. Yeah, at this point it's more of a deck agreement because everything I suggested last time has been implemented, So yeah, the first thing, in a long game with this div, you will struggle with only 2 cards of supply, but your slots are very limited on this division, and you don't really want it to go late anyway. You don't have heavy tanks to repair, so that is something that you can, get away with 2 cards of supply. I mean, we'll see in the game. In terms of what to bring, right, this is forward deployed, but carries literally no supply, so it's very, very expensive. I mean, you sell them, but it costs you a lot in just upkeep. Right, when those units aren't sold, those are points that you could have spent on something else. Opportunity cost, right, and then 25 for 500 but not forward deployed is a lot more useful. It's very, very, very few situations where you need forward deployed supply. There are a couple. Like if you're rushing into a town and you know that then the enemy will cut off that town, it can be worth having forward deployed supply, but at that point, like your sole aim in life should be to not be cut off so that you can continue to resupply and reinforce your guys. Otherwise, you're going to lose that zone anyway, and 300 supply is not really going to help you. Then you've got this supply, which is 1500, and it's a big boat. And then you can get the helicopters. This is more of a team game thing, really. So yeah, it carries the most supply, but it's very easy to spot and kill. So it's best to have this for sort of near the rear with the RT, with the AA. And then these go forward supply, and either you sell them or you bring them back to refill from this. Then forward deployed wheeled CV, or you can get a more expensive not forward deployed wheeled CV. It is more armored, but I think this is just better. It's only 2 availability, and this is 3, but that's alright because then you've got 2 more here, and you've got 2 more here. So you don't need a forward deployed CV here if you've got a forward deployed CV here, a wheeled one, right? So you can spend 100 points on these 6 men, or you can spend 30 on these 3 men. Okay, I mean that's I prefer this one. I think this one's the best because for 20 points more, you get 5 more strength, which is a big deal. And then you would bring it in the gas, right? So yeah, I prefer this one. Then, so these are really useful at the start of the game because they go at 100, and you'll note that most of these big squads, their transports are actually 90. So this is really useful at 100 because it just zooms down the road and shoots the enemy forward deployment. And you tend to put it with one of these. Sadly, doesn't so this isn't this is not Airborne, which is a big shame, actually. That'd be a big help for this division, because the square one gets it as well, so why not have an Airborne variant? It's probably some TOE fascism thing. But yeah, this is forward deployed, so you put this with your forward deployed SPG-9. If the helicopter comes, you unload it. It does take time to unload, so it's not as effective as a self-propelled one, but you tend to shoot the enemy helicopter, or at least get rid of him. Then Commandozi, so these are at max vet because special forces get better at max vet. Sadly, the transport isn't special forces, so they don't get faster. It's hilarious that the Polish Airborne division has a slower forward deployment than the Polish wheeled division, mech division, or the Polish tank division, because those two get forward deployed special forces vehicles. They're recon deployed, but because of the max vet special forces, they actually get to places faster than these guys. So it is a big shame. But yeah, very strong squad when it stood still. Special Forces makes it very effective. And Special Forces benefit from veterancy more than regular people. So a max vet Special Force gets more of a boost from that veterancy than a max vet regular person. Metis squad, very effective, 9 men. And then Okranas, so this is military police for 55 points with an AT. So this is a great squad to have with all your other guys to make them fight a lot better. Then Spardo Croniazi, they've got SVD, so this is like 2 machine guns. 3 machine guns is like 6 rifles. It's a bit more actually. So that is 13 shooty, 13 men shooty power, and 9 base HP anyway. So really effective anti-infantry squad, particularly when you pair it with something like this. And then Nevsky Beretti, and these guys are really good. So they're 12 men, and they shoot with the strength of only 14 men, right? But they're 12 men HP, which does help, right? So their DPS isn't as high as it could be if they had an SVD or something. But the fact that they have 12 strength does make them very effective because their DPS will go down slower than, let's say, if you've got like a 6-man Panzergrenadier squad, right? Yeah, they shoot with the strength of 13 men or whatever because the SVD and the MG, something like that. It might be closer to 10 or 11, whatever. But guns get disappeared off the unit as people die. But the SVD will always be, if you have one, like the last machine gun won't go until the whole unit's dead. So the SVD will keep firing, but yeah, having more HP is useful. And the Resolute means that they take less suppression resistance, so they can fight a lot. Very good squad. These guys I really like because they've got satchels and a decent RPG. The alternative are the triple flamethrower squads, which I personally don't really like. The flamethrowers, I mean, so in a forest against a bad player, you're going to do really well because he's not going to notice when you rock up and spend 4 seconds aiming at him with your flamethrowers, and he's just going to sit there and die with the 7-second reload for the next flamethrower shot. So that is, that is a concern. But if you're against a good player, he will see the flamethrower and he will immediately run away or run towards you and satchel you, depending on the range, right? So, yeah, I think the sappers are better, but well, they're both called sappers. I personally prefer the satchel guys because they've also got the RPG, and they've got more availability and they're cheaper. But yeah, this can be useful if you're against somebody who, isn't paying too much attention. They'll just look over and they're like, "What happened to all my guys?" But yeah, the 350 meters range. It used to be 500, Anyway, so then 2 cards of ATGMs, which I very much agree with, because this div doesn't get any like conkers. It gets a couple cocons up here, like he's got 1, and it gets a couple AT planes. So yeah, I definitely agree with having 2 cards of ATGMs, and the idea with this one is that it comes with this, which fires 2 SPG-9s, which is actually pretty cool. Sadly, no smoke and stuff, but if you get into a position where it can shoot, the DPS is actually pretty big because it's firing 2 SPG-9s at once, and it's actually quite effective. So yeah, 2 cards of ATGMs, good idea. RT, so double Pion. The Pion needs to become cheaper, really, because it only fires at 2 salvo length, whereas all other 203s fire at 3 salvo length, which means that this has a DPS 1/3 less than all the other ones, and it costs 10 points less for 1/3 less the DPS. But you don't really have a choice, so so yeah, there you go. And it is good. And yeah, having 2 of them means that you can snipe heavy tanks and stuff, but with a 2 salvo length, it's less likely to happen. And yeah, the alternative is to bring a Grad, but the Grad's resupply cost is huge when you've only got 2 cards of supply, and then your only smoke would be Pions. This thing is hilarious. If you can micro it, it's hilarious. For starters, this is the sort of reason why you'd want 3 cards of supply, because this will actually drain your supply faster, because look, it shoots every 60 seconds, whereas this shoots every 140, 152. Obviously it's slightly higher because of the fire rate and so on, Anyway, when it's actually firing, it's not aiming or reloading. So yeah. Actually, is it reloading during that time? It might be, actually, because I know it reloads while moving, and ATGMs reload while the missile's in the air. Anyway, yeah, if you get 4 of these out, they DPS better than a Grad, and you can also use them to smoke, and 1 of these can maintain a consistent batch of smoke. The only problem is it takes a lot of micro, and it drains a lot of supply, so only having 2 cards of supply, we'll see. Tank tab, so, tank These all come from the Marines, apparently, but they're not resolute, and they're just regular T-55s, whatever. Anyway, CV tank. T-55's got buffed, so they're absolutely incredible now. Some people swear by the ASU because it's got the same pen, but it fires a lot faster. I need to use it more in check. I prefer the T-55A, just because I know exactly how it works, I guess, and it's faster. Although the ASU does have mediocre stealth. It takes longer to aim because it's not got a turret, so it actually has to turn. But you get more of them. And it fires way faster. Faster. Fires faster. 33% faster. But it can't fire on the move really. I mean, obviously it says it's got 5% motion accuracy, but because it's got no turret, it won't actually be able to aim unless you're driving towards the guy you're trying to shoot, which is common. So I personally prefer the T-55A. If this had smoke or something, it'd be crazy, right? Because then you could shoot and then smoke and then back off, but it doesn't. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I need to play this div again and try these out, but I personally prefer the T-55A. Then this is your coffin launcher, which is hilarious at clearing out towns. It can also work against tanks. Basically, you just park this behind a building and constantly chuck these rockets at people. Then the Maryutka P for more ATGM spam. It's better than the unspeakable one because it carries more missiles and also it's faster and it's got good stealth. These all used to have mediocre stealth, but they upped them to good stealth because Pact isn't allowed to have bad equipment. So yeah, I prefer this one if you have to choose between the two. Because you don't really need the forward deployed on this because you've got these for that anyway. Recon, so this is one advantage this div gets, is that they can do an airborne forward deployed rush with some pretty fast helicopters, really fast helicopters. So that is pretty crazy. There's only two divs in there's three if you include TKS, but they're on a slow transport. KSK can do it as well on Rugana, but I believe the helicopter is very slow. I believe it's an MI2. So yeah, there's only these and the Belgians, and 6 men with an RPG is not to be sniffed at. So you can get into some pretty zany places at the start, and then right behind that you've got you should have some planes up if you're going to do that, at least one fighter, and then you've got the SPGs coming around. So yeah, you can get into some really zany places, and you do have an RPG even if it's not very good. Then these guys have ground surveillance radar, so yeah, you want them. They're special forces, but you want them for the ground surveillance radar. You don't want them shooting people. They do have a nice RPG though. Then this is great for spotting people. Sadly, the Polish PT-76s should have a Dushka on the top, and that would make them all really good. Especially a card like this. Its anti-infantry capacity would be huge if it also had a Dushka on the top, but it doesn't. Pact Suppers. And then, yeah, Recon Helo, always useful. The SIGINT thing is just a meme, really. I only know of one person who uses that. And he uses it because he's the reason it was added to the game, not because it's actually any good. Yeah, don't bring the sniper, guys. It's only a DMR anyway. AA, so this is effective because you get 10 JODs, which is shooty person, shooty helicopter. I mean, basically your AA in this div's not very good. You got to rely on your fighters, which is why you should always bring 3 cards of fighters for 6 fighters. And don't unvet them either, otherwise you'll run out. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I bring 2 cards of this, but this is also extremely good against infantry. This one, because it's towed, so this has the same DPS, but it'll die in 1 hit to an ATGM. This can't be targeted by ATGMs or AT, and will literally, in a forest, this will win. This will beat everything in a forest, because it shoots in 2 seconds and then you just kill them. So it's pretty absurd, and they get 1 rank of vet for free. I don't see the need to bring this one, because yeah, you get Strelas, and it does have a higher accuracy, 5% more, but you want 9 of these, because you want to be spamming them out to win. Helicopters, so yeah, I don't like these ones. I think they're... the availability is not very high, and they don't get that many rockets, and, you might as well just pay 35 points more for the Phalanger and more rockets and 2 more HP, and it's faster, right? And the gun is better. Well, this gun is better, but it's not got a turret, so it's kind of hard to aim it. But yeah, the 2 more HP, the Phalanger, it's definitely worth it. You still get 80 rockets. This one gets 128 rockets, and then this is the Kokon one. It's only 1 availability. Air tab, so basically your only way to kill heavy tanks is to either side shot them to death with unspeakables or SPG-9s or Malyutka Ps, T-55As and so on, or, you know, try and use this, which is going to die basically because you only get one. And then you've got 4 AT planes, and you literally can only bring 4. So you've got to keep these alive, which is why you bring these. So the rocket plane is great at the start of the game. Later on in the game, you use it ahead of your AT plane to make sure your AT plane doesn't die. And you also use the seed, and then you constantly hit enemy AA with your pions. So that's the idea. You constantly suppress the enemy AA as much as possible. Maintain air superiority with the best fighter in the game, the MiG-29. It's in terms of price to performance ratio, this just beats everything else. It's pretty crazy. This outranges every NATO missile. This is better than any NATO short range missile. This is better than any NATO long range missile. And then you get this one for hunting helos. So yeah, that's Divinity's deck. Switching to his opponent, we've got DrCoreAccretion, who's playing 82nd Airborne, which you don't see a lot. It's sort of like Donkey Kong in that Airborne divs just aren't that meta anymore. What's meta is having a small amount of forward deployment and then an actual proper division behind that, like 2nd Panzergren. Or, you know, 119Y, something like that. Or just going full mech. So, yeah, 2 cards of supply. I mean, you don't even have any heavy RT on this div, and you don't have any tanks. I mean, Sheridan's, right? So, yeah, 2 cards of supply is fine. And then in terms of, like, CV, so forward deployed CV here, you don't really have a choice. Don't bring the Helo one. Then he's got some air rifles leader. The Chinook's better because it's cheaper, and it's got more HP, and it's the same speed. And these don't really do anything. And then you can use this to carry RT, I guess. You might as well upvet this, you only lose 1. Then, yeah, then you spam Airborne. Not having any Airborne engineers is a mistake, really. You want some satchels, otherwise you're just going to lose in a town, so get rid of one of those and bring in the satchels. And then, yeah, you've got some Helo guys. In the Chinooks, because, yeah, they're better, really, because of the HP. I mean, if you can shoot people if you really want, but you're paying 10 points for something that's less survivable. And yeah, Airborne, regular Airborne. I don't know, I think Airborne Dragon are still overpriced. Now that, because the Dragons used to shoot a lot further, they lost 500 meters range, which is not ideal really, and so now they do suffer a bit. No Airborne MP Patrol M67 is a big shame. I think this is a really good squad. I don't know where you'd put it really. But yeah, basically your infantry's overpriced on this div, and you're an infantry div, so that is an issue. This you might as well upvet. And I'll be honest, you don't really need this, but I guess you don't have 1 AP to spend anywhere else. So yeah, mortars for smoke, and then howitzers for trying to hurt people, but they're not very good at it. Tank, CV tank, so that's 2, 4, 6, so that's all good. 5 is the absolute bare minimum, 6 is preferable, 7's good. More than that you don't really need. Sheridan's for hurting infantry, that's basically what it is. It's an anti-infantry tank because of the HE on this, 1.5. It's good against infantry. So the Chalet, whatever, Shilly lag. The Chalet lag, whatever. It's not very good at hitting people. It's got very low pen. The main thing is you just suppress the enemy to death and then hope he leaves. But basically you use these to kill armor, right? LRS for the ground surveillance radar. LAVs, you know, 100 points is way too expensive, but they are really good. And yeah, you send them around the sides because of the wheels, and then you try and snipe enemy reinforcement roads. You need to do that as this division, or you're just going to lose. Airborne scouts actually do get AT4s, which makes them good, and then you bring them in the grenade launcher thing, so you've got more anti-infantry capacity, so that's all good. I've seen people bring 2 cards of this. And then the Kiowa Recon Helo, so this is 45 points for the minigun, which got nerfed. This actually has exceptional optics for 10 points more, so that's why you bring it. This can be really good at the start of the game, but you've got to open Eagle or Phantom if you want to do that, and then you can just shoot enemy transports coming in, but because you're airborne, you should be getting there first. And you'll note that the Humvees actually go at 100, unlike the Gaz trucks on the other team, and DKs. AA, so Stinger's good, Avenger's good, and then this. So this makes this division worth playing. Because yeah, this is your anti-infantry. It's like the ZSU on the other team, but better. It's just it costs way more, and you get fewer of them. And so yeah, this is your anti-infantry device to kill enemy infantry. You can literally just slow walk these through towns, and they win town fights unless they're outnumbered, like 4 squads to 1 VADs. It's pretty stupid. Apaches are difficult to keep alive, but that's sort of the whole idea, is that you bring the Apaches and you try and Apache the enemy to death, and then he's got 2 Toe Cobras here for if he runs out. I mean, yeah, whatever. So the Toe Cobras have the ITOs. The Heavy Hogs I prefer for anti-infantry because they fire their rockets a lot faster. And the regular Hogs bring more sustained DPS. Then 3 ASF cards. HE80 LGBT. So typically with this div you want to do some air spamming. So you could get rid of 1 card of ASFs to get 2 seed, because this also functions as like a light ASF. I've seen people run 1 card of Eagle, 1 card of Phantoms, but later on in the game you'd wish you'd had 2 cards of Eagle. It's just literally this is 95 points cheaper. So yeah, you could do that, because if you actually want to use these, then you want a seed with them to keep them alive. Although against DK, seed is useless, so you don't know who you're going up against in Ranked. So that's it for the deck reviews. Then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game. And as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so with that out of the way, let's talk a bit about the map. So basically, the map is generally blue side favoured, because blue gets into Boris at the start, and red does not get into Anna at the start. But generally, red gets center and blue gets Fedor. So if you're an armored division, you actually want to be on the red side, because even though you'll be weaker at the start because they'll have Boris, if you can push them out of Boris, then you can take Fedor relatively easily as an armored division. Here we've got 2 airborne divisions. And in that case, you want to be on the blue side, because, yeah, you're going to get in there first. It's going to be hard for him to dislodge you if you're both airborne, because you're going to get there first, and then you've both got similar tools. And then defending Fedor against a guy who doesn't have heavy tanks or medium tanks is relatively simple. You just make sure you own all this, put a bunch of ATGMs all in this, and then, you know, here, try and hold this, right? And generally just make him quite miserable. So in this case, blue is on the better side. So in terms of the matchup, you don't really, neither of these divisions are considered particularly strong. 82nd Airborne, you really don't see a lot anymore. Used to be very popular before the Dragons got nerfed. It's a shame what they did to the Dragons. Basically, recon wasn't very good, which meant that the dragons and the metises would shoot you and you wouldn't be able to see who's shooting you. So instead of fixing recon, they reduced the range of the dragons and the metises, and then they fixed recon. So so now they've got less range and you can see them more easily, and the prices didn't really change, so they're just worse. In terms of like Donkey Kong, it's like 82nd Airborne, except with a couple more tricks up its sleeve, in that it's got heavy arty, but its AA is worse, and it's got a couple tanks, but its ATGMs are much worse. But in this matchup, you don't need super good ATGMs, because 82nd Airborne doesn't have any high armor vehicles, so the unspeakable one, which he's brought here, the unspeakable one, this can one-shot anything that 82nd Airborne can bring. The highest armor, of course, being the Sheridan, which I think has 3 armor. As for 82nd Airborne, this gets TOW 2s, which are useful against Donkey Kong, because Donkey Kong gets T55s, and the TOW 2 will one-shot a T55, but a Milan 2 won't. So that's it for the map and the matchup. Looking at the deployments, we've got DrCoreAccretion here, and he's sending some Airborne to try and attack over here. I mean, that's a foolhardy attack unless you back it up. Just sending 1 unit in is not such a great idea. Airborne Scouts, these could go up to here, really. And another airborne scout's going up to here. This is a nice building, but really you get into this at the start, so they should be in here if nobody else is doing it. He's got guys doing. Oh, okay, never mind. Then an LAV. Okay, so he is at least assisting this airborne with some fire support. Okay, and a recon Kiowa. Okay, so that's a reasonable attack now. He does need a bit of AA though. An Avenger or whatever. Then yes, he's attacking Boris, but he's not attacking it very heavily. So a grenade launcher down here can be good. You can also put a TOW 2 there, so it shoots down there. But you don't want both in there because they'll both die to the same thing. Airborne, airborne, airborne dragon. So yeah, the airborne could come in here at the start. You do have to be careful about the SPG-9s, which we'll get to, I suppose. Then a CV for Elena Fedor, and a CV for Anna, then presumably Boris. Forward deployed CVs. And then an LAV also for Boris. And an LAV. So these have 2 armor, which means that the SPG-9 can't actually one-shot them, because this needs 16... Oh, actually, no, because this only has 8 HP. So actually, I think it does one-shot it. I think it does one-shot it, actually. Interesting. Then we've got another recon helo here. Switching to his opponent's deployment, we've got a MiG-29 fighter to cover the helos, the forward-deployed airborne helos, which we spoke about in the deck review. And these allow you to get to places really fast, much faster than regular forward deployment. So chances are he will get to Boris first. And you'll note that the 82nd plate, I don't know if he opened Eagle or what, there's literally no AA here. So hopefully he opened Eagle or Phantom, because otherwise all his healers are going to die. You need either an Avenger in this push, right? An Avenger in this push, or you open with planes. So yeah, 3 so-called helicopters, and one's going to here, one's going to the middle of this, which is supposed to be blue zone, but you see he did actually send a couple of units here, an LRS and a Humvee TOW. I'm sorry I didn't speak about those. And the third one, yeah, it's coming to Boris. And then we've got an unspeakable one. Typically you'd want to put that here so it can shoot down the road. And then you can move it up later. Another unspeakable one going to hit. Another thing you could do is put it here, so it shoots across. It's probably a better idea, actually. Commandozi for... Commandozi has not been pathed. Okay, that's a shame. And the Spado, whatever, Metis guys, they're coming up to here. ZU for hurting infantry. And then SPG-9 down this road, SPG-9 down this road, SPG-9 down this road, and then a CV for Dmitry Boris. And then he's going to run around in circles for a bit and then come out and go into Fedor. Yeah, so I like the SPG-9s down every road. I think that's a very, very powerful strategy. It really does annoy people. And it, you know, if one will get through and then you can just park it like here or something and just shoot them as they come in. Or, you know, or here or something, do the same thing, or here. Right, lots of places to be, really annoys the enemy. And you can also send a forward deployed AA thing with them, like one of these, which I guess he's doing, actually. And then if they send a helicopter to go deal with it, then you kill the helicopter. So a Malyutka P going... Okay, so that's quite an aggressive thing. We'll see how... Because there's an unspeakable one going here, so the Malyutka P being here is quite aggressive. We'll see how far it gets. Then on the right, we got that other SPG-9, which we spoke about, and then a military police guy, an unspeakable one, SPG-9, SPG-9. So yeah, sending them both down here, that can work. You could also send one down this road, and then just sit there. Well, the thing is, they'll be coming down here, so, and you want to have the range. So if you can get over to here, that's good. Or here is good. Although you'll lose them there. So yeah, here's nice, really. Typically, you just want to use the range, and you want to be at like max range, so they've got a low chance of spotting you. Anyway, let's cover the game, and we shall do so from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously saving me from poverty. They get the names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One join at the lowest level is worth 2,000 views. This is my sole source of income, which is why I shill so aggressively. I literally have to do it to survive. So yeah, if you want to help out, you can do that. I appreciate that. There are also lots of other people who are broke and unemployed losers like me. Yeah, if you could just like the video, I'd appreciate it, right? That takes you 5 seconds, and it's literally free, so you've got no excuses. But no, I do appreciate you watching the videos, thank you. So, here comes the MiG-29, and he's trying to hit the Kiowa. But he's coming over the hill here, so he might not actually be able to shoot it with the guns. Okay, the missile gets it, but you see the guns weren't going to fire there. And now he's coming for the other Kyo, which presumably he sees with the Sokol. He's lost it there. It's gone behind the hill. And then a missile again. Okay, so the missile hits again. This is better than any NATO short-range missile, it's worth noting. This is better than any NATO long-range missile, it's worth noting. So yeah, here we go. So look how fast they got in. So that's the power of the forward deployed helos. Anyway, he's in the wrong building. He needs to be in this one. So Phantom purchase. The MiG-29 is better, but just gets a bit unlucky there. Also, it looked like he was looking the wrong way. So the Xiaodausi is now in the correct building. SPG-9 is probably going to get killed by the Lav. So yeah, that is rough, really. The Lav is basically the perfect counter to this kind of strategy, which is not fortunate. What you can do is, you know, okay, I'm being shot. You know, you get off the road and you just come through here, and then you come back through here, right? You don't have to just keep going. So I'm not sure what. Oh yeah, the SPG-9 here killed the Lav. So like, you'll know that this is 45 points and this is 100. So this has already paid for itself by killing that 40-point thing, basically, right? The only problem is, yeah, the Lav does beat you, but it's more than twice as expensive. So the one here that killed a Lav more than doubled its point investment. So just something to keep in mind. So the WD-40 Jeep's coming up, and yeah, this one Lav is causing him a lot of problems. Humvito's probably gonna... Oh, man, yeah, so this needs to leave right now. I think he... Perhaps a bridge too far with this, but yeah, another thing you can do is, you know, not go in the open, right? You can, if you're getting shot, you can sort of get off the road and so on. So this is probably not going to make it. Okay, he's going for the infantry. And yeah, this isn't going to do anything to that. This is an anti-vehicle device. But yeah, he is on a +1 because he's taken Fedor. As for DrCoreAccretion, he's secured air superiority with his epic cheaper plane wins the fight gameplay there. And now he's got the LGBT. It really should be dropping that second bomb as fast as possible. That only had 1 HP, so I get it. And yeah, so it looks like COFFINS has managed to get in here. So we'll see what Divinity Slave does about this. He's bought a helo to try and get reinforcements in fast, but the enemy's got a fighter up, and this also has Sidewinder missiles. So these aren't as good at... This is the best packed Sidewinder, NATO Sidewinder. It has identical stats to the packed best one, except this has less suppression. So you see that this just is more. And yeah, the MiG-29 should be winning that, but really the LGBT should have been helping out. Because it does have the Sidewinders, and it could have fired them at the same time as the Phantom went in, and that would have helped DrCoreAccretion win there, but he didn't do that. He does get a kill there, and looks like he will take the zone. In the meantime, Divinity's got, yeah, so he's moving up here, so that's very smart, really. I don't know why he's put an attack position there. Must just be an error. Yes, okay, so he's got this coming back here. Sadly, there is a Kiowa there, which is going to shoot him, but it's only got 14 rockets, so if he just keeps moving, you see that was 8, and it didn't really do anything. That's, okay. Yeah, you got to watch out for that. Typically, like, this should really be here, and you should be dead, so that's not a good idea. If you wanted to come up here, you know, you can cut across here. Like, what's this off-road? 60. Okay, yeah, so you can cut across here, or you can just come back and go around, right? So yeah, very aggressive there, and it does pay off. But yeah, those airborne scouts should have deployed there at the start. So DrCoreAccretion has managed to get into Boris, but he's not got Fedor, and that is a problem because the Malyukas are shooting across, right? He's got Metis here, Divinity. This really, there should have been an unspeakable one here, a Voldemort ATGM. This should have been there, because it's not doing anything here. I mean, you can put it here and shoot down there, but you want a T-55 for that, really. Preferably the coffin launcher one. And this should be here. But yeah, if you're Donkey Kong at this point, what you want to do is get some more infantry up, and you want to buy that coffin launcher, because that is perfect for this situation. You just park it behind here. Oh, he's in that building, is he? Bam! He's not in there anymore. Move up. No, now which building is he in? Oh, he's in that one, is he? Bam! And this is basically unkillable, because it will be hidden behind this building. And it's a T-55. Sorry, I'm dying. Happens sometimes. Wow. So, fairly lucky Spado Croniazi there, just not really paying attention. This doesn't carry... These rockets are just not good, as you can see. So he actually gets in. I mean, that's very high accuracy, so... if you subscribe to Hippie YouTube channels, the Hippie YouTube channel, I can't even speak anymore. If you subscribe to the Hippie YouTube channel, he might be able to speak, but also your ATGMs will hit more. I guess for legal reasons, I have to say that that's not actually the case, but it might be. It's not. So yeah, that was on low altitude, and so there should be two of these, yes. So just send them both out. Send them both out once. Make sure this one comes in while this one runs away. Turn them around. Unload this. Get them both in. Get them both in. What? He's just not. What? Could have won that fight. Could have won that fight. He's probably going to lose this one as well. It's a big shame, really. Although this has now fired all its missiles and accomplished nothing. So, okay. Happens, I guess. Yeah, it could have won that fight. 2 MiG-29 versus 1 F-15. Yeah, you just send them both in, and if these have been unloaded, you know, get a bit of that in there. Did this drop? It did? I'm not sure what it hit. There was a meta squad in here, now there isn't, so that's what it hit. So now he's using the Vulcan, which has a lot of bullets to shoot this, but it has landed. So yeah, it's a shame that went that way for red, but it did, and so the LGBT gets 2 hits off, whereas if he had killed the Eagle, he should have still had 1 plane up, and then he could have chased this, and then he probably wouldn't have killed it, but at least he could have got rid of it so it doesn't kill all his guys, because otherwise he's literally losing a man every minute, because this is 2 and it drops 1 at a time. He's losing 1 unit a minute, basically, as this reloads and is brought back and reloads and is brought back. So yeah, for red, you know, it's difficult. Like, your AA is basically garbage. It's just Strelas and Strelas. Right, here we go. So the MiG-29 is definitely going to win this now because it's behind him, and yeah, he's evac, so he can't run away and stuff, and the guns will get him if anything. I don't watch these ahead of time, you know, I don't, but that, okay, fine. It's got 40% ECM, so whatever. And then the guns ran out of ammo, and it had like 0.1% HP left or something, I don't know. So yeah, pretty rough for red, because blue's AA is actually better. The Avengers, the Stingers, this is just a portable super Stinger, basically. They're a lot better than the Strelas, as you might imagine. One of the few areas where NATO has dominance is with SHORAD, the close range, short range air defense, SHORAD. So the Sapezi could have come into this building first, I don't know, but whatever. They can just run up to him and shoot. You could also just stop it so that it'll throw the satchel and then keep moving it again, because the satchel can only be thrown while stationary. But I mean, it's working anyway. This needs to come back. A grenade launcher vehicle's probably going to kill him. But yeah, these grenade launchers are pretty nasty. He needs to get out of there. Where's the coffin launcher? I would have liked to have seen the coffin launcher. He's bought 2 of these. He sold the transports, which you don't want to do. You want to keep the transports so you can move them around. Also, this has 10 kilometers range. So you really, like, you know, if you actually want to hit somebody in here, you need those transports. So yeah, selling the transport's not ideal. And yeah, so he made some progress there. At least he's keeping his guys alive for the most part. This needs to land now. But yeah, the Avenger, man. 70% accuracy. Perfect stabilizer accuracy. Fire and forget, so it shoots quick. You know, as soon as that first missile comes at you, even if it misses, you got to run away, right? But that was 2 shots, 2 hits, and that does happen. So now he's sending a plane into the Avenger that just killed his helicopter. So I don't know about that, really. I don't think that's smart. Yeah, it looks like it missed that time, and it hit the second one. So if it had hit the first one, he'd be dead, but, you know, things do miss. So look at this. So he's actually firing smoke there so that he can move up into it, but he doesn't actually, like, he should have waited until he had something to move up with, right? Because now he just, you know, he's just smoking. And that actually helps blue, because it means that he can just park his CV in here and get some points, which he's chosen not to do. And yeah, if you're red, you want like these two. Having 1 recon unit in here is good, but having just a regular infantry doesn't really help you. So these should be here, and they should be moving down here. And here we go, another MiG-29 coming for the tow. And there's just 1 Avenger here, no Eagle up. So it does hit, but it's not going to get a second shot off because it's short range and so on. And here we go, so the Eagle's back out. This should get a missile off there, yeah, because it outranges the Eagle. The Eagle should target switch to this now. He's just flying around. And here we go. So the smoke actually helped his opponent there. So smoke's one of the few things in this game that if you use it wrong, it actually helps your opponent. So that in that case, he used it a bit wrong there. But yeah, the MiG-29 wins that fight, despite being cheaper, and that's because it's got better missiles. And yeah, better long-range missiles, better short-range missiles. But yeah, this guy's just kind of hanging out, and now he's not. So here's the SPG-9. Look at the damage it's doing, right? Typically, you need to run away now because you're going to die. But I guess he just wasn't really looking. Bomber coming out. Here we go, the coffin launcher. Oh, I guess the Avenger. That's huge. But the idea is you park it behind a building and then you launch a coffin. And so that was an effective kill there for DrCoreAccretion. But yeah, the Strellas, you need 3 hits to kill it. Because these only deal 4 damage. Whereas the Stinger deals 5, and 5 plus 5 is 10. 4 plus 4 is 8. Bet you didn't know that. This is the high-level analysis that you get on the Hippie YouTube channel, you know? That's why everybody subscribes, including you, right? Anyway, Hippie, why is there Warno in my shilling video? So here we go with the coffin launcher. It's the perfect tool for this, because look, it can shoot all the way across there. Pew! You know exactly where he's going to be, and now he ain't there anymore. Look at that, even got... Wasn't there another unit there, I think? Didn't come up here, but... And then you always make sure there's a... Like, so these need to be sold, and there should be always a reload with this, and it should just be immediately reloading, and then in 60 seconds it does it again, kills another unit, maybe even another 2 units. Very, very effective way to clear all this out. Coffin launchers, very, very, very effective. What I will say is if you're red in this situation, there should be... I think he's got the anti-tank team with the double RPG, I think. I mean, I just did the deck review, but I've got the memory of a goldfish and an itchy face. So if he doesn't, just anybody, right? You just send somebody down here and just kill stuff as it comes in. Why not? Like, you've got that ground, you might as well use it. And you know, then you can like even move these 2 up, and so they send a helicopter, and then you shoot the helicopter. It's great stuff. But yeah, the LGBT claims another. But yes, it's probably going to go down now. So here are the 2 MiG-29s, and down it goes. So the Avenger... Right, so this needs to make sure it doesn't fly back over this, but it is doing so anyway, and he's not evac, so he's probably going to die here. So it's a shame. Yeah, so if he just kept going this way and then come around this way, as his other one did, would have been fine. But yeah, killing the LGBT is huge, because you only get 1 of those per card. And red has 6 fighters. I believe that's the first one we've seen actually die. Most of the others have just been evac and stuff. So there it is, sticking out the lake. Wow, that's very cinematic. Yeah, that'd be a cool screenshot, I think, for the video, maybe. Yeah, let's just doodle-doo. So, sending out a bomber when there's an eagle up is not ideal, really. You see how effective these rocket planes are. So, will that get the lav? No, it just misses it. The Zaup does not make it. But the Eagle, just not paying attention, really. I mean, he should have killed at least one of these. So yeah, it's a shame, really. Depending on who you're rooting for, of course. So, +2 to red. And it looks like blue's squaring up to take this back. Now, if you're blue and you want to take this back, basically you need to move down here, get up to here. And once you get an ATGM in here, or even an LAV, maybe a Humvee Tow 2 here, you know, they can't reinforce it anymore. A bit of AA to stop this from happening, and then you just run in. So here we go, so now he's smoking and attacking while he smokes. So how cool is that? Now they can't hit him with their grenade... Well, I mean, there should be grenade launchers and stuff here, there aren't, but, you know, it's cool. You can smoke and attack, you know, it's cool. If you've got close range stuff, that's how you want it done. So the Airborne's forced to run away. The Commandozi can't fire their PKMs on the move, but the Airborne can't fire their M240 Bravos on the move. So it looks like he's running away. I mean, if he saw the HPs of these squads, he'd know that he has the advantage in men and material, and he should try and push up to here, really. But you got to watch out because, you know, bomber might come and kill you if you don't have a fighter up. So down it goes. Looks like the gun got Voldemort there, and then the bombs were just sort of wasted. 3-minute reload on that. And here's the MiG-29. So there you go, very effective push from Divinity Slave, using the coffin launchers, using the whips. And, yeah. So, I mean, you're never catching up to that. He's faster than you. Suppose you could swap into this one now, because he's just kind of hanging out. Looks like they're doing that. The F-16 does have better Sidewinder missiles than these guys. But okay, just... Alright. I mean, it's a T-55. Wow, lots of things dying. The coffin hit that. The helicopter went down to the F-16 because of these missiles. And it looks like the F-16 is going to get out. Oh no, he evac'd over there. I think this was an auto-evac. I don't think he had a choice. Oh, but that missed again. Okay, so he'll get out now, because even if that hit... Oh, wait. Yeah, it didn't get the last missile off. So, crazy. Pretty crazy sequence of events there. And this is the problem with playing Donkey Kong, that you really need to make sure you keep air superiority, because your AA on the ground is really, really bad. It's literally just Strellas. And so, wow, okay. But it survives. And I think Blue's still got one Phantom and one Eagle left, or it might be two... It might be three Eagles, actually. So Blue's got plenty of ASFs left. And that is bad for Red. So, yeah, the helicopter... I mean, you just can't be doing that if you've not got a fighter up. But yeah, Red's big on the air. And hopefully, yeah, you evac the right way. I don't know if he did that on purpose, but yes, it's right to evac that way when you know there's an Avenger here. And the Phantoms just dive in the MiG-20, the Mi-24. And, okay, so they'll get missile... Yeah, and there you go. So the MiG-29 wins on the merge. Better missiles. Better missiles. I mean, this is more expensive than the Phantom. And this guy survives. So yeah, don't just, like, YOLO your guys in when there's enemy fighters. Like, if the Phantom had actually gone on the enemy fighter, it might have actually won that fight. You know, it depends on the RNG, right? But instead he was shooting this, and the enemy fighter was shooting him. And he was fighting over the enemy AA, which is neither here nor there when you're playing against Donkey Kong, but it does exist. So Red is winning, and he does need to understand that and stop, you know, YOLOing. But if Red can push up to here and get some recon into here, then, you know, a couple ATGMs in here, then you push up through here, and then you can take this. The alternative, of course, is if you own this and you own this, you can just smoke this and run in the corner. But typically, you wanna take the sides of a zone, and then that lets you take the zone. So yeah, here's some ATGMs coming in. Black Forest games tend to be longer games because, you know, like this is a +1, this is a +1, this is a +1, this is a +1. So Eagle's out on the MiG-29. Eagle costs a lot more, but the MiG-29 should have got the first shot off there. The reason it didn't is because it was facing the wrong way. And this is, of course, the good Eagle with the AMRAAMs. The AMRAAMs have high accuracy, but the MiG-29 still has superior range. But yeah, this is the good Eagle, because the AMRAAMs have fire and forget, which means you get 2 off before the merge, whereas other missiles you would get 1 off before the merge, I'm pretty sure. It depends on that MiG-29, because it's got the extra range. It might actually get 2 off before the merge. But yeah, the Eagles are winning the battle for the skies. And, you know, they are pretty expensive planes, right? And yeah, Divinity needs to stop buying planes, basically. Stop buying bombers, although I think this is one he probably bought before, right? This should land now because there's an Eagle up. Okay, so it looks like Divinity is going to build up for an attack on here. Look, he got in here, no problem. So this is something else you can do. You know, the enemy's locked this down with toes and stuff. You can fight it, you can push him out slowly, smoke and arty and smoke and arty, like you've got Malkas. Or you can just go somewhere else. It just can be a bit easier. But I do think that Red has better pushing potential in the open than Blue, but Blue has better defensive potential in the open than Red, because Blue has TOW2 Humvees and TOW2 infantry and Apaches, whereas Red has T-55s, which can actually push, whereas Blue doesn't really have much that can push. Sheridans, right? Not so great. Not so great. Anyway, these guys both just don't pay attention to what enemy planes are up. Like, what? How did that not kill that? Oh, wow! Did you see what happened there? he got a crit and died. An engine flameout crit did an extra 2 damage to him, and he just died. Yeah, I mean, it happens, right? It could have been that the second missile from the Strela might have hit him anyway, but yeah, that... Yikes. Losing a plane to an engine flameout crit is never wonderful. So, yeah, Blue's still trying to reconstitute his forces. Like, he is behind. He does have to do some pushing. If you're Blue, basically, you could attack up into here, right? Because this is more of a close-range fight than the open. Like, you're probably not getting back in here, basically. Here we go, another coffin launcher. Bam! Really effective, really effective. Like, so that was, you know, 7 plus 6, 13 men. And, you know, it's not taking any damage. It got bombed before, but... so yeah, it should be immediately reloading and so on. Sheridans are pretty effective against infantry. But yeah, Blue will struggle to push in the open. And so I think maybe attacking up in here would be better. You'll note that Red is attacking down here, which also works for Red, right? Because it's infantry, right? Close space, etc. Yeah, so Eagle is getting bullied by Sidewinder missiles on Su-22s, but he's got 2 Eagles now, so this one needs to come over here, and then this Eagle should go shoot this fighter. So yeah, bit weak on the air micro there for Blue. Like, he should target the enemy fighters. He's just not clicking this at all. It's just flying around in circles. Alright, so it looks like nobody wins that. 1 rocket plane went down. I don't know, that was a bit weird. So this guy, I mean, what is going on there? So yeah, the missile misses. He's out of missiles now. He's on the guns though. Pretty crazy air battles in this game, I gotta tell you. But yeah, typically if there's fighters and bombers, you want to kill the enemy fighter because the enemy fighter's gonna kill you. There we go. So he's got the guns on him now, and this carries 920 rounds, but it vanishes into space because evac's just on a timer. Now he definitely needs to evac this. It's got no missiles or anything, and if an enemy MiG-29 comes up now, you're dead. But I guess he wants to take that risk. As it stands, Red has managed to get in here. Right, so he's got another 2 Eagles out now, so definitely evac this one. It's not going to help you in the next fight. So yeah, there were 3 Eagles. I said there was 1 or 3. Looks like 3 was correct. And so yeah, Red has pushed into here now, so that's cool. Could have used a bit of AA. I think he had it and it died here. Okay, what? Just like flying past the Eagles and just like nobody's right-clicking anybody. They're just all on automatic. Like, this was right-clicked onto that, I think. Oh, man. Sun Tzu once said, if there's 3 enemy Eagles up, don't fly 1 MiG-29 into them. But yeah, this guy, I don't know, he's not really paying too much attention. They're just sort of flying around and he's looking at something else, I guess. Anyway, here's the WPs. Looks like they're going on this block here. They might get that supply helo, so it should take off, really. Now it's stunned, he can't give it an order. Alright, looks like it's going to survive. They are very far away, and he sold the transports, so they're just going to not be too useful at that range. Airborne Scout should go down pretty quickly. Basically, you want at least one of these up to here, because they tend to reinforce down here. And then you want to get one of these up to here, so that they can't reinforce through here. So it looks like these are going this way, okay. And if you're Blue, you know, you want this here so that people don't get in this way. And yeah, you need to make sure that you've got your reinforcements. You can send an Apache over here, defended by Eagles. You've got Eagles, so you should be alright with the Apache. And then just start cleaning them out with the Apache autocannon. You see, if you run into one of these, it's not great, so you could put a recon helo in front of that, just to give you some extra room for maneuver. If you lose a recon helo, it's not a big deal. If you lose an Apache, it's a big deal. And yeah, in the meantime, this could be sold. DrCoreAccretion reinforcing with helo infantry, which is smart because it gets there faster. Then you can sell the helos and get your money back faster, so you can buy more helo infantry and reinforce even faster. So yeah, that's a good way to solve problems. Or you can keep the Chinook alive and send it over here and send it over here and just constantly spot the enemy so that you can use your bombers, your Apaches, you can spot the enemy AA, that sort of thing. Divinity managing to take this out, potentially. I mean, it should really go down there. Yeah, there we go. Because he just sort of flew it over here for some reason. So +1 to red. It was a +2, but DrCoreAccretion's back in. These arrow rifles are at 2 vet because the CV's vetting them. But these are at, 2 vet, 3 vet. So basically, if you're in the town, you want to get a guy up here, pronto, because then you can see things. And preferably a Strela or an ATGM. Not both, because it's going to get blown up. But you definitely want a recon there, preferably one with its weapons turned off and then nothing else. And then people don't know it's there. But yeah, if you own this, you can see a lot further in the town because religious people can see further than atheists. So you see this is a religious dwelling. And this atheistic dwelling next door can't see so far. In the meantime, DrCoreAccretion's just spamming the Sheridans and trying to take this with Sheridans. He doesn't really have any better options, to tell you the truth. His artillery's not good. He's using his air, but he's been a bit too frivolous with it. I think he's managed to secure air superiority, more or less. I mean, Divinity's still got fighters and stuff, but look at that. That might have been a crit there. I did see a crit there, but it looked like 2 missiles hit it at once, and 5 + 5 would be 10 anyway, but I definitely saw a crit there. And yeah, this is just on guns now. Rocket planes are back. It's just going for the Apache, so that's why you need the Eagle covering it. It's got the Sidewinder missiles, right? Literally costs less and has more available. Like, it has 3 times the availability in a card compared to the Apache. I mean, helicopters in this game kind of hard to use effectively. So yeah, there you go. You always got to watch out for being just shot in the back, like a MiG-29 gets purchased, and so he's down to the Helo Hunter MiGs now, but he does actually take that out. AT plane does have Sidewinder missiles, so he should right-click on this, really. Might have been able to kill it. I mean, did miss twice, though. And yeah, red should fall back and get some supply. Looks like he's falling in and going to try and... yeah, you will win that fight with the double satchel. This could do some strafing, right? But yeah, if you're blue, basically you want to sort this out and then move up here. But basically never attack your enemy just straight in the front, because that's always going to be the most defended place. I mean, sometimes there really is nothing there, but you just check and, oh, there's somebody there, I should do something else. Right, so if you're blue, you get an Avenger, right, you get the Sheridans up to here, and you get the Humvee tow up to here, right? Let's say you manage to get your Humvee tow up to here, right, or up to here. Well, they're not getting in anymore. And now you can attack from the front, and all their reinforcements are getting killed. You can also take this, starve this zone out, that should be the first priority. Then you move up to here. Now you've cut this, so they can't cross that Great Divide, and now you can just go sit in here. So AT planes just kind of being sent out willy-nilly. I don't know, I mean, both players being very, very frivolous with their bombers. Just sending out bombers while enemy fighters are up is not ideal, really, so... It's not working out. These guys have 1 HP. They're not using their satchels, so the air rifles leader's going to kill them. And yeah, MiG-29 gets the F-16 AT, so that's a good kill. But typically, if there's 2 enemy fighters up, you should wait until you've got 2 fighters and then send them up. This should evac immediately, because now it's probably going to die. Oh, okay, it's going to win, apparently. I mean, this is out of missiles. This is out of missiles, so he's just evac'd it. If he gets the guns on him, he might kill him, actually. No, because this is a lot slower than that. Yeah, this should evac. I mean, it's not accomplishing anything. And he's got another Eagle up, so... Yeah, it's kind of strange. I don't get it, really. But yeah, it's very difficult to get air superiority with Donkey Kong against 82nd Airborne, because the Eagles are better than the MiGs. They do, I mean, they're very expensive, right? So in terms of cost efficiency, the MiG's better, but in terms of actuality, this Eagle with the AMRAAMs is better. The other one isn't, really. In my humble opinion, a lot of it's just RNG. But the other thing is, obviously, the Strelas are just never going to hit you, unless they crit you and kill you, right? Haha. Whereas the Stingers will hit you. So another MiG-29 coming out, and you see that these don't have any missiles, but he's kept them up. Whereas if he'd evac them at the time, they'd now have missiles. But he's not even right-clicking this or anything. He's just left these here, and he's not looking at them. Airborne in an open field. So typically you'd want to smoke this if you wanted to attack, and there should be a Stinger in here. F-16, 18 gets the miss. MiG-29 is going to hit him. I heard plane sounds. Strela finally hit an Eagle. And now these are evacing. But yeah, imagine if they'd evac'd as soon as they ran out of rockets. They'd be back up and all this would be dying. But, you know, we live and we learn. So, Apache ATGM is going to slowly sweep its way through this, presumably. You see the autocannon's pretty effective. This will not one-shot these. You need 25 pen to one-shot them. Look. See, I know things. You see how it's target switching there? That's really annoying. It's supposed to have 70% accuracy, but I don't know. Doesn't seem to be doing that today. Sort of missed one missile. Hit one missile and missed 4. Also, he is going out of range, which doesn't help. There you go, right? But that's the issue with attack move, because it'll get to the edge of the range, and then it'll stop and go, whoa! And then aim, and then he'll have reversed, and then he'll have to go forward. Look, it's doing it. Whoa! Yeah. So, yeah, what can I say? Never saw the pions from Divinity Slave. That could have been useful. Like one pion, you know, hit this, that sort of thing. T-55s, yeah, like we said, Apaches don't one-shot them because it's almost like the packed equipment was designed with its levels in such a way that they just cross all these tiny thresholds that give them a huge advantage. It's really weird how that works. It's almost like somebody on the inside knew what was going on when they got these changes made. But yeah, that's probably just rampant speculation. So Avenger going down there, which means the rocket planes are still free to go on. And this is the first time we've seen the VADs. So the VADs are pretty good against infantry. The T-55A spam is not really forthcoming. Wow. What? Oh, because it has 3 armor. Yeah, and this has 17 pen. Crazy. Did you know that used to have 16, and so it couldn't do that? That's really weird, isn't it? And then it just went up by just 1. Because it just had to go up by just 1. And then all of a sudden it just became way more useful. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that really weird? Yeah, it really makes you think. Anyway, WD-40G, probably not going to make it, to tell you the truth. Tracks broken on this wheeled vehicle. That's what we like to see there. The tracks have been broken, apparently. So he's having a great time. He's like, bro, I'm packed. Sadly didn't save him. But yeah, look how effective the VADS is against infantry. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, both players content to just YOLO into each other. There's not much maneuvering going on. But yeah, leaving guys in the transports leads to 2 of them dying. 1 to the tank and 1 to the rocket plane. Rocket plane does go down. Now the cluster's next. And yeah, that Eagle cleaning up there. Because, yeah, this AA is just not good. I mean, obviously there was only 1 piece, so there's 2 actually. And they don't even shoot. But yeah, you shouldn't just fly over them, because eventually they will hit you. I mean, there's a case to be made for draining enemy ammo and stuff, but imagine if you got unlucky and 3 Strelas hit. Or if you got unlucky and 1 Strela hit you and gave you an engine flameout crit, which dealt an additional 2 damage and led to your death. Anyway, the TOW-2 does one-shot the T-55. But the Milan 2 doesn't, and neither does the Hellfire. So, yeah, 5 minutes left. I don't know what to say, really. I mean, Blue obviously can't win this at this point. He's secured air superiority, but he's lost everything else. I think he could have done with attacking the flanks a bit more. Like, he had all this, and then he's got the TOWs and stuff. Like, if you get up to here and get a TOW-2 in here, it's basically donezoed for red, and then you can start pushing down here. Obviously, he lost all this because he wasn't defending it. He's still got MiG-29s. So, wow, okay, so it's a rank of veterancy there. So these are better than the Eagle short-range missiles, so better than any, because it's got the same everything except the suppression's way higher. And then there you go, Blue surrenders. He realizes he can't hack it. So credit to both players. I think it was a decent game. It was an interesting game. Rank 507 for Divinity Slave. And rank 445 for DrCoreAccretion. So I think DrCoreAccretion should probably watch more Hippie YouTube videos, because if he's got 124 ranked games, probably should have a higher rank. Like, this guy doesn't have that many games. This guy is more. So yeah, that's my prescription for DrCoreAccretion. He needs to watch more Hippie videos. Also, stop playing 82nd Airborne. Stop playing Donkey Kong. Is that a Roblox avatar? I think it is. Anyway, you see, look at that. This is 45 points, all right? That's 20 by itself. That's 65. That's 100. That's 20. That's 75. So you see how useful they are at the start of the game. And so one of them got through and then just sat there and got kills. So really useful to send those out at the start. I did like the coffin launcher play. I thought that was very cool. I like the whoop play, those sort of Nebelwerfer things. They were cool. Did a good job of killing the enemy Apaches. And wow, Voldemort taking out the Harry Potter family there. And yeah, do let me know what you think. I mean, look, these Totus, they did quite well. This LGBT did really well until he sort of messed it up and lost it. Do let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one. GG.